A Chinese man who was trapped in India for more than 50 years has finally returned home to an emotional reunion with close family members in Beijing. Wang Qi, a Chinese army veteran, says he was building roads when he strayed across the Indian border in 1963. A prison sentence and then bureaucratic obstacles have kept him from leaving India until now. Vinit Kare from the BBC's Hindi service in Delhi met Wang Qi several times and told me more about his story.
Look, he was captured by the Indian forces in 1963. He remained in prison for the next 6 to 7 years. And since then, from 1969 to 2017, I would say he's been living in poverty. He has a small house in a village called Tirodi, which is in the central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh. He has 3 children. He himself tried to open a shop, but he had to shut it down for a variety of reasons, local reasons. So it has been a difficult journey for the last 50 years. No stable job, children not well educated, and they're also not earning well enough to support the family.
And those children are from a marriage to an Indian woman, are they?
Yes. He got married in 1975. I was told by him that he fell in love with a Christian girl initially, but due to some religious reasons, local reasons, he could not marry her. Then got married to a lower caste Hindu girl in 1975. And he had to be persuaded. In fact, he used the word forced by his friends and the community that he should finally get married to an Indian girl.
As someone who's met him, has he always looked upon himself as Chinese, or did he integrate in any kind of way?
Look, it's a difficult question because, see, he has lived in India for a very long time, 50 plus years. But again, if you speak to him, he speaks fluent Hindi, but with a very strong Chinese accent. He still remembers the life there. He talks about the life in China. He deeply misses his home. He spoke to his mother in 2002 after like 40 years when mobile phone was introduced, and he got hold of one. And his mother eventually died in 2006, couldn't see him. So, I mean, he always wanted to go back home. But of course, India has been his home for the last 50 years.
So he's never lost hope of returning home, but has been frustrated by bureaucracy.
And yes, and that's the most incredible part of him when I met him, that he was still hopeful after 50 odd years in India. He has been trying endlessly. He has been sending letters to local authorities, the prime ministers, the president since the early 80s, but never got a sort of a response which could help him in any way. So when I met him, I mean, he still wanted to go back. The feeling of going back to China was strong enough. And that hope was still there. One day, before he leaves this world, he will be able to see his family in China.
So how did it finally happen for him?
Look, when the story was published by the BBC, it got published in English, Hindi, and on BBC Chinese, and it got a huge response in China and India. Then there was a reaction by the foreign ministry officials in India and China, and things started to move. People were deeply moved by his story. That there was a man 77 years old, and before his life ends, he wanted to see his family and go back home. So finally, his family was provided passport by the authorities here. He was provided an exit document, and he finally left India, early morning India, 11th of February, 3 o'clock flight.
An emotional moment, I would imagine.
Absolutely. I met him at the airport last night, and he was smiling and he could not contain his joy. He was not able to speak properly, in fact, and he was really looking back. And we had just received videos of him, the emotional reunion with his family back in China. And I cannot explain it in words. He's crying, he's meeting his family, he's hugging all of them, and it's great.
Vinit Kare from the BBC's Hindi service in Delhi.